Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining us here today. And if anyone's having any issues with sound or anything, please let me know. My name is Kieran Smith. I'm the International Trade Manager for Tourism NT. Thanks for joining us. I know everyone's busy, so I just want to keep this short. We'll have questions as we go, so please just feel free to unmute yourself and ask as we go along. So before we start, I just want to respectfully acknowledge and honour the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of Australia and the Northern Territory, and we recognise the continuation of culture, connection to land, water and culture. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. So today I'm going to take you through a little bit about our top end in the Northern Territory. So where are we? Hopefully you're reasonably familiar with an NT is, but we are top and centre of Australia. We have two main regions that we refer to. We have in the top end, we have Darwin, Kakadu, Arnhem Land, Katherine and the Tiwi Islands. And in our red centre, we refer to Uluru, Alice Springs, Kings Canyon and Tennant Creek. In terms of our seasons, the weather is very different to the rest of Australia. In the NT, we're currently in our peak season in the Northern Territory. So in the top end, the temperature's up to about 32. It's really beautiful weather. Humidity is really low. And in the red centre, we're in spring, like the rest of the country. As we head into late October and November, we're going to be entering our low season. So the top end will stay at about the same temperature in those early 30s, but the humidity will become quite high. In the red centre, the temperatures can get up to about 35 degrees. It's a dry heat in the desert, so it does become quite hot. But as we head into our low season, it's really important to remember this is when we have a lot more inventory on offer. The airfares are a lot cheaper heading up into the NT, and it's a really good time to save some money. For those of you who are thinking about doing a trip to the Northern Territory, the shoulder seasons are actually a really nice time to head up that way. It's obviously a lot cheaper to head up there then. In terms of access into the Northern Territory, so it's predominantly by plane. We are nearly back to our pre-COVID levels, which is really great news. So in terms of the updates, we will be having daily flights between Darwin and Singapore from the 31st of March, which is really exciting. That's returning to the pre-COVID levels. Domestically, flights between Uluru and Cairns will be returning to daily from the 31st of March as well. And at the moment, we do have some runway updates taking place in Darwin, so that has affected some flights. The flights between Darwin and Alice Springs have been rescheduled to later in the day, but those other flights should be coming in as usual. So just to show you what we have in the NT, I just want to show you a little video just to remind you.
Light is where
I'm sure you agree there's a lot there to see. If there's any products in the video that you aren't familiar with, please get in touch with me and I can give you some more information about that. Before I do our product updates, I just want to talk about our exclusive ITO events that we've got taking place next week. So if you're based in Melbourne, Brisbane or Sydney, it'd be great for you to come along. We've got about 12 of our operators coming along, and they are going to present on their products and give you a little bit more information about what they have on offer. So if you have any new staff, this is a great overview of our destination. It's good for them to learn about our export ready product, and anyone that's established, it's just a good refresher to come along. It's free to attend. We're going to have refreshments on offer, and we'll have a lucky door prize as well. So tickets do need to be booked on Eventbrite because spaces are limited. So on the EDM that I sent out last week, the links to book those tickets are on there. So please don't hesitate to come along and join us. NT Muster, which is our domestic event, is also going to be taking place next week as well. If you're interested in attending that, please let me know and I can direct you on how you can reserve your spot to attend that. Okay, in terms of our product updates, so recently I would have told you about the Windjeri Weru experience, which is our new product based out at Uluru. It's a Voyagers Indigenous Tourism Australia product. So when they launched in May, they had 2 products and they have just added a new one called the Windjeri Weru Twilight. So this basically is an experience that joins the sunset dinner a little bit later in the day or a little bit later in the night, and it has a dessert and cheese hamper and drinks on arrival. So the price point is a little bit lower, but it's still a nice early one, so it's really suitable for children. They've also made some adjustments to the pricing for the existing experiences so that it's a little bit cheaper for children. Before they had the pricing as the same. So now the dinner and the after dark have got slightly reduced pricing, and they have got a different menu, so that suits kids as well. So to attend now, the minimum age is 5. So that's great. With a new product, AAT Kings have got a new tour on offer. It's the Aboriginal Culture in Australian Highlights Tour. So it's 13 days and it includes 2 nights at Uluru. So what clients will do or visitors will do while they're in Uluru is they'll enjoy their barbecue dinner that AAT Kings have, which is just quite close to Uluru. You have Uluru as a backdrop. It's a really nice experience. There's the Field of Light, as well as a dot painting workshop with Maraku Arts and a sunset out at Katajuta. So the tour starts in Melbourne, it flies into Uluru, and then once it leaves Uluru, it flies out to Sydney and then up to Cairns. So it's actually a really nice way to capture a little bit of everything in Australia, and it's about $8,600 per person. Longitude 131, which is our premium luxury offering at Uluru, are doing a soft refurbishment in February next year, so they will be closed. So they are going to be doing upgrades to their 16 luxury tents. This is their luxury tent here in the photo. As you can see, they are already really beautiful, so it'll be really exciting to see what they're going to be like once they've had their soft refurb. They have also got a bit of availability between November and January, so which is a little bit unusual for them, and over Christmas and New Year's. So if you were looking for availability, they've definitely got some at that time. In November, they're going to have an artist in residence program. They've got artists from the Erinabella Arts community coming, and they are setting up a studio in the June House, which is their beautiful 2-bedroom accommodation, and it's going to be from the 20th to the 24th of November. So this is the June accommodation. It is beautiful. This is their premium offering at Longitude. Darwin Harbour Cruises have recently launched a new product on their Sunset Cruise. So they have the Charles Darwin Dinner Cruise, which is the seafood buffet that has been on offer for a while now, but they have a new Gaze and Graze Sunset dinner that's part of the same cruise. You can see here in the photo, it's more of a grazing platter dinner, and it has a slightly lower price point to the buffet dinner. And they're no longer offering just the Sunset Cruise, which is where there was no food offering. So all of their Sunset Cruises now have a food offering. They last for about 2.5 hours. It's a really nice thing to do, to take in those beautiful Darwin sunsets. And SeaLink and the Tiwi Island Retreat have launched a new product, which is a really exciting one. It is a one-night package in the Tiwi Islands. So it includes a return ferry from Darwin to the main town in the Tiwi Islands. There's transfers over to Tiwi Island Retreat, and while guests are at Tiwi Island Retreat for the one night, it includes all of the activities. So you can go fishing or relax by the pool. There's beautiful sunsets. They have canapes on the beach, and then it includes a beautiful dinner overnight in their well-appointed facilities. And on the second day, they'll have a tropical breakfast at the retreat before heading back to the main town of the Tiwi Islands, where they'll do the Tiwi Art and Culture Tour. And that includes a smoking ceremony, meeting with some of the Tiwi Island artists, a walking tour through the village, and then everybody gets to make their own piece of artwork to take home before they jump on that ferry and head back to Darwin. So it's about $1,100 per person. It's a really good product, obviously, but a really good price point as well. It takes in some of the best of what we have on offer in the Tiwi Islands. And this is the beautiful accommodation that they have. This is their pool view room. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Darwin and the top end, and just touch on the products that we have on offer in that area. So Darwin is really well known for its tropical outdoor lifestyle, and it's very laid back and it's very welcoming. If you've been to Darwin, you'll know when you get off the plane, you just feel like you're on holiday. The weather is really beautiful. The temperatures get up to about 32 degrees, so it is a really nice climate. It's the smallest capital city in Australia, but it's really culturally diverse. There's about 50 different nationalities living in Darwin, and you will see that when you're there through the food that is on offer. So there's a really strong Asian influence in Darwin because of its close proximity to Asia. It's really rich in history as well. There's a lot of history about World War II in particular, and it is a gateway to the top end. So from Darwin, you can head into Kakadu, Litchfield, Arnhem and Katherine and the Tiwi Islands. You can do a day tour into all of those locations, or you can do multi-day touring, or obviously self-drive as well. So it's a really good spot for people to base themselves. In terms of the products that we have on offer, so it's a harbour city, obviously, so there's a lot of different activities on offer on the harbour, as well as activities in and around the town, and obviously those tours that are going to take people out of Darwin. So 007 run jet skiing tours on the Darwin Harbour, so just located down at the waterfront. They've got a range of tours on offer from 45 minutes through to an hour and a half. People can take an additional passenger, and for anyone who's a bit nervous about driving a jet ski, they can go as a passenger with the guide. We have Darwin Adventure Boats, who run their jet boat and the airboat tour. So it lasts for an hour. It departs from the Darwin waterfront as well. So guests will get into the jet boat. They'll head across the harbour. They'll do a bit of a jet boat ride, and then they'll head into the shallower water where everyone will climb onto the airboat, and the airboat will take them into the mangroves, into those shallower areas, so they can see more of what's living in the water. You can see crocodiles, there's sharks, there's stingrays, and all sorts of fish species. So it's just a really interesting and fun way to get out and see a little bit more of the ecosystem. That tour runs for 1 hour. SeaLink NT run day tours out to the Tiwi Islands and around the harbour as well. So they do their Tiwi by Design, which is part of the package I just mentioned, where guests are taken out by ferry over to the Tiwi Islands. They'll do a village tour and then get to make their own artwork. They also do the Aboriginal culture tour, and that takes people over to the Tiwis again, and their tour is a little bit different. They get to meet with some of the locals on the island and learn more about their culture. They have 2 harbour cruises on offer. One has a picnic and one is a sightseeing cruise, and then the Crab Claw Island cruise, which is this image here, where guests are taken out to Crab Claw Island. It's to the west of Darwin, and they'll have a seafood buffet there. So a really fun but quite interesting and different option there. AAT Kings have got a city sites tour, so this is a large group offering. They do hotel pickups, and they'll head out to the Darwin Aviation Museum, the Museum and Art Gallery of the NT. If you haven't been there, that is a really fascinating or really interesting museum, as well as heading to the Botanical Gardens. It's about 4 hours in duration. Crocosaurus Cove is a great option for people who want to have a crocodile experience but haven't maybe got time to head out to Kakadu or out to the Adelaide River. So they've got 3 different offerings. They do the Cage of Death, which is in the photo here, where people can hop into this very safe tube. They get lowered into the water, and there's a crocodile in that water. So 1 to 2 people can hop into that tube, and that's for 16 years plus. They do a VIP tour as well. This is where people get to get a little bit more up close with crocodiles. They'll get to touch a baby crocodile, perhaps hold one, and they get to help with feeding the crocodiles, and they get to learn all about sort of how things run at Crocosaurus Cove. And they also have a whip ray encounter, so that's for 10 years plus. People can hop into the water with the whip rays, and they come up and they can have that interaction with them. Ethical Adventures run a Darwin City day tour. They specialise in doing small groups, and their tour is a little bit more specialised in some different areas, and they sort of get more into the nitty-gritty about Darwin, so it's a little bit more personalised and a really nice option. Ethical Adventures also run day tours out to the top end into Kakadu and Litchfield as well. Nautilus Aviation are a helicopter company. They have got some really fun tours on offer. They have a helicopter pub crawl. Basically what they do is they take guests out to some remote pubs in the top end. You can do a full day pub crawl, and I think they head to about 4 pubs. You have a beer, you get back into the helicopter, and then you fly to the next place. You get to meet with all the locals. And you can do a combination with a heli fish, so a half day heli pub crawl and then a half day fishing experience. They offer scenic flights out to Litchfield, Kakadu and Arnhem Land, and with their Litchfield scenic flights, they also offer a private waterfall landing where people can jump out of the helicopter and go for a swim and have their lunch. It's a really nice experience. They do full day or multi-day heli fishing. They fly out to the Jumping Crocodile cruise, which is on the Adelaide River. That's about an hour's drive from Darwin, so that's just a nice easy way to get out there. And they also do tours out to the Mary River, and on the Mary River they do billabong cruises. The Flying Doctors are based in Darwin. They have got their tourist facility, which tells 2 iconic stories from this region. One is about the Flying Doctors, and we obviously know how important they are to remote Australia with the services that they provide. At the tourist facility, they talk about how it was established and have some really interesting stories of people that have actually been rescued. And they do a bombing of Darwin exhibition as well, and on the 19th of February 1942 Darwin was bombed extensively during World War II. It was bombed much worse than at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, so it is a really interesting story. They use virtual reality to tell these stories, so it is interesting and really engaging. The Spectacular Jumping Crocodile cruise is 1 hour from Darwin. It's based on the Adelaide River, and this is an Aboriginal owned company. So they do 4 croc cruises a day, and they run for 60 minutes. So you can see here that they feed the crocs to get them to come up to the surface. It's actually a really interesting tour. They tell you all about crocodiles and about their them living in their natural habitat. And it's actually just a really lovely cruise out on the Adelaide River, which is very peaceful. So in terms of day tours from Darwin, we have got a range of operators that do Litchfield National Park tours. So all of the tours will mostly visit the same locations. It's just the style or what they offer on that tour that is different. So AAT Kings have got the larger groups. Autopia do mid-range, See Around do small group offerings as well as ethical. And NT Indigenous tours are the same with off-road dreaming, offering about 20 spaces per tour. So they all have a slightly different focus, but it would be up to your clients what they would be interested in. Ethical are all about sustainability. AAT Kings are that larger group tour, slightly cheaper price point. So it's really up to the client how they want to do that tour. But really, they will offer those main locations in the Litchfield. In the Tiwi Islands, AAT Kings and SeaLink offer tours over to the Tiwi Islands. And then we have a range of multi-day touring from Darwin as well. So there's a few more operators there offering those multi-day options. And again, the variety is different. Some will offer accommodation in a hotel, some will be in a permanent campsite, some will be in a luxury lodge. So it's up to your clients what they might be interested in, but there is a really good range on offer from Darwin. And in terms of our accommodation, we do have some premium accommodation in Darwin. Some of it's, so in Darwin, we have the Mindel Beach Casino Resort. They have their 5-star accommodation. You can see in the bottom right-hand photo there. And then just out of Darwin, we have some slightly higher end offerings out at Finnis River Lodge, at Top End Safari Camp. They are both located about an hour and a half south of Darwin. And then we have our Tiwi Island Retreat, and they do have their high end offering, which is their glamping here. You can see in the top photo. In terms of accommodation in Darwin, we've got a really good range of mid-range. So these would be 3.5 to 4.5 star accommodation. A lot of the main brands have got hotels in Darwin. So heading down to Litchfield National Park. So it's a 1-hour drive from Darwin. It's a really easy drive for anyone that's interested in self-driving. It has got beautiful lush waterfalls and swimming holes. We have our termite mounds. You can see in the photo here, these are huge. Some of them are up to 4 meters tall, some of them are up to 2 meters tall. So they're really interesting to learn about, and you'll learn about those when you're on a tour in the Litchfield National Park. So it is an ideal day tour, but as I said, it is really easy driving for people wanting to hire a car and head down there for themselves. This is some of the beautiful waterfalls we have on offer. And this is the Litchfield waterfall escape that Nautilus Aviation offer that I mentioned earlier. So they land on the waterfall and customers will climb down and they can go swimming in their own private pool, which is a really unique experience. And I just want to show a quick video about Ethical Adventure. It just gives you some really beautiful scenery from the Litchfield region.
What keeps the wheels rolling for me is having an impact and actually being part of the solution to this sustainability issue. Ethical Adventure is about reaching out to people and getting them connected with the environment and the cultures they interact with. Most people love a nice quiet walk in the forest. What can add value to that is actually knowing what you're looking at. There's always a little bit of knowledge you can feed out to people, and that enriches the experience. Yeah, so this is what the Aboriginal mob used to use for digging sticks, fighting sticks, clapping sticks, all those sorts of hard wood required jobs. It's important that people enjoy themselves. If we're having a bit of a laugh, but at the same time taking a bit of information in, let's go and get educated. Let's have fun while we're doing it. What we're trying to create is get the opportunity for people to bring it back to themselves for our lunches, or advise people to go and find your own little spot. Just be there, be present, be in the now. It's about time that we actually acknowledge that we need to start putting back in. And ethical tourism, I think, is the way we do that.
And I'm sure you'll agree when you see a video like that, it does show the value of people going on a tour to learn that history of an area when they're visiting. So over to our South Mill project. So we are really encouraging trade to come to the NT on a FMIL of their own. We obviously want to expose trade to as many of our NT products that we have on offer as we can. So we will be promoting any kind of deals that we know about from our operators, but we're also encouraging trade to come up by offering $500 vouchers to be put towards flights. So if you are thinking about coming to the NT with your family or with your friends, then please get in touch, because having you in the NT is what we want to encourage, and we want to help you do that. In terms of product offerings this quarter, Longitude 131, which is the Bailey's Lodge luxury accommodation we have at Uluru, they don't offer a standard trade rate, but as I mentioned, they do have a bit of availability over the November to January period. So if you are thinking about heading into Uluru and are interested in staying at Longitude 131, then please get in touch with Elise Johnson. She would be happy to have a chat and see what they can offer you. With Voyages, Indigenous Tourism Australia, who run all of the accommodation at Uluru, aside from Longitude, they have a trade website which has which gives all trade access to their rates for the hotels and for their touring. If you haven't signed up to the trade website with Voyages, then please go ahead and do so, and it will tell you how you can access those rates. In terms of our prize winner from our for the ITO program, I want to say a huge congratulations to Lisa from PTC. She has won our FMIL placement, and Lisa's going to be heading to the NT in October. So I hope you're going to enjoy that. For this quarter, we have got a $1,000 Webjet voucher on offer, so we hope that you will use that to come and visit us in the NT. So I will be drawing that out later this week, so hopefully I'll be in touch. In terms of training opportunities, if you think your team or you have a new starter might need some training about the Northern Territory, please feel free to get in touch with me. My email address is on the screen there, and I'm happy to do one-on-one training or group training with your staff, so please get in touch. We also have a list of all of our export-ready operators that are paying those higher commissions in the NT on our trade website. So the website is on your screens there. Please feel free to go onto that and have a look. It's just a really good way to also be aware of all the products that we have on offer. I try to talk about regions in in these webinars, but I can't cover everything every quarter. So this is it. That is it from me. Are there any questions from anybody? Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. That's it from me. Thanks for coming along and joining us today. And please get in touch if you have any questions about the NT. And I will see you all next time.
See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.